Hello ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities and identities, and welcome back to another Torchwood review. And today I thought we'd go right back to the very beginning of Torchwood, with the episode Everything Changes. So, how did the series start? Well, essentially this series started with this episode Everything Changes, and we are introduced to a young woman known as Gwen Cooper. Yes, Gwen is a police officer. Not the first police officer, mind you, in the Doctor Who universe, but a police officer nonetheless. And Gwen's story, strangely and ironically, starts very similar to Doctor Who and the Daleks. Gwen is working a case in which she finds herself wandering through the streets of Cardiff and finding herself coming into contact with Torchwood at every turn. When she begins to ask questions to her department about who exactly Torchwood are and why they keep getting involved on her cases, the department basically tell her that it's best to be left alone. However, the intrigue and interest of everything that keeps happening to Gwen begins to make her feel more lured towards Torchwood. She begins to ask people around Cardiff Bay if they know anything about Torchwood, and one guy in a pizza shop says yes, he delivers to them. So, to get as close as possible to the truth, Gwen decides it's only about time that she use her contact from the pizza place to find out exactly where in the bay they are located. It turns out that Torchwood is right at the heart of the docks itself. So Gwen enters through a kind of shop door and finds herself greeted by a man in a tailored suit. The man smiles at her and tells her to go downstairs with the pizzas. Upon Gwen going downstairs, the whole team tries so hard not to laugh at her because she actually turned up with pizza. Jack then jokes that he was going to say he has no money for the pizza, and Owen and the rest of them just giggle it off. Owen then admits the fact that he is the idiot who actually orders under the name of Torchwood at the local pizza place. We're then introduced to Susie Costello, who will be our kind of main sort of antagonist in this story. Gwen finds herself in the depths of Torchwood's world, and doesn't quite know whether she can ever go back now. She is then taken upstairs to a restaurant out on the bay by Jack to have her mind wiped. However, even though he doses her drink with retcon, she soon finds herself remembering everything about Torchwood, and the retcon doesn't seem to work properly. Upon discovering this, Jack tries to suggest that he gives her more, but Gwen is adamant that she doesn't want to forget. She doesn't want to forget anything. Jack then has a massive argument at one point in this story with his team when he discovers that they have all been taking artifacts from Torchwood away from the bay. They've been using it to gain in their personal lives, whether it's a potion that makes them more attractive to people, a gauntlet that makes things come back to life, a special type of lipstick. There was all sorts in this story that had been used by Torchwood. Upon discovering this, Jack is absolutely outraged. However, he's not fully outraged until he comes face to face with Susie. It turns out that the resurrection gauntlet has gotten to her mind, and she finds herself in a situation in which she can't stop. She then threatens to kill Jack, and Jack ends up surviving the bullet through the head. He then shoots Susie dead in front of Gwen and explains that he had to do it, otherwise she would never stop. He then proceeds to confiscate all the items that people had taken away from Torchwood, just to teach them all a lesson. So, what did I think of this opener to the Torchwood series? Well, honestly, I absolutely love this concept. I love this story being about in this case it's a police officer, but it could have been a doctor, a fireman. This is the thing I love the most in Doctor Who and in just like its spin-offs, is any character can come from anywhere. And I feel like that is its strong point with these stories, especially with Everything Changes. To have someone who is in the line of duty and believes in doing their kind of job, to have them really have all of their world twisted on its head is brilliant. And that's why I give this story a solid 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next Torchwood review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, have an incredible night, you beautiful people.